Let's loom knit the Andalusian stitch. The Andalusian stitch is a super easy stitch with a great look to it. It's perfect for blankets or even hats. I've got one here that's going to come out next week, and we're using and featuring the Andalusian stitch. So let's begin on that right now. Grab your supplies and we'll begin. Welcome to GoodKnit Kisses. We're all about helping you stitch your love and love your stitches. To get the Andalusian stitch in a written form, you can see that for free on our blog. Just go down to the video description and there's a link below to that blog, and it'll be written for a flat panel and for in the round. The flat panel is just working back and forth. And I'm actually going to show both on video today. We'll actually work both at the same time. So you're just going to grab the loom that you want to work on and cast on either all your stitches in the round or pick a number of stitches. I'm working with 24 on both of these looms, so flat panel, and these are 5/8 inch, and I've got 24 pegs casted on here, and I have 24 pegs casted on this little loom here. Doesn't matter, this is just for practice. So if you want to have a right or left-handed video tutorial, please click down in the video description below to show you how to do it. We're going to dive in and show you how to work the rounds and rows here today. Let's begin in the round. We'll start with the in the round first, and then we'll work on a flat panel for each of our rounds and rows. So round one, we're going to begin with a knit one, and I'm simply just putting it on top and lifting up and over, and we're doing a U-wrap knit. Then go on to the next one and knit that. If you want to make sure that you've got enough yarn on here, hold it back with your knitting loom, and then lift up and over. So after you knit your stitch, hold back, and then wrap the next peg so that you have enough yarn, and then knit up and over so that it doesn't cause it to be too tight. You could also E-wrap this, but it just lays flatter when you work with either a traditional knit stitch or a U-wrap knit. So I prefer that, and note there is no E-wrap in here. It will stand out much better using those two stitches. Okay, so you're going to continue that all the way in the round, just knitting all stitches. So if you're going to do that on your flat panel, you can have a border if you like, or you can start at the end. This one has a seed stitch border. I'm not going over that, but I've passed up my first 4 stitches for this border, and I'm just going to begin with my knit row. You notice that I'm on this end of it here, and that's because my next row, I want to be working the opposite direction because I have pearls on it. So we're going to begin that way. All right, so I'm going to continue to keep going. Go all the way to the end or right in front of where your border is. Pause your video and I'll meet you there for round 2 or row 2. See you there. Okay, so we have gotten back to the beginning of the round, and round 2, we are going to knit 1, purl 1. Knit that first stitch and purl the next stitch. If you've never made a purl stitch before, I'll do that again slower. So we're going to wrap around that first stitch. We're going to repeat, knit stitch, and go to the next one. And we're going to purl. We put the yarn down below our stitch here, pull it up like we're pulling from the ocean, take it off, put the new loop on, and pull it. That's it. You're going to repeat those 2 stitches all the way around. Knit 1, purl 1. That's in the round. Now we're over here and we're in our flat panel. I've already done my border. Again, you don't have to have a border on this. And we're going to come over here and begin knit 1 and purl 1. So I'm on this side, and it's easier because purling in this direction just seems to be a little easier. Doesn't really matter, that's just what I did. So if you want to see in the other direction, go to the other handed video. All right, continue all the way down until the end, or stop right before your border if you're making one. Pause your video and I'll show you the next 2 rounds or rows. See you soon. All right, you've worked on row 2. Now we're on row 3 and 4. So rows or rounds 3 and 4, you're simply going to knit 2 times. So we're going to knit in the round over here on this one 2 times. So keep going in the round. And then let's talk about it over here more while I work on this one. So you can see I've already gone past my border to start, and we're going to be knitting 1 row working in this direction. So we're 1 row, and then we work back. We're going to go all the way down here, and then we're going to work back, and then it'll be set up for our next for next row, because you remember when we started row 1, we were working from this side. So we're going to go down and back, and you'll be ready to do that again, to begin again. So I'm just going to chat while I do this. So once you do that, you've got 2 rows knit after you have that row of seed stitch. You just continue to repeat until you have the desired length. But you're going to notice, well, why does the pattern say do 2 and then it repeats and I have to do 1 more knit row? So technically between, gosh, it's not knitting over here. Technically between each seed stitch row are 3 rows of knit. You can see that there are actually 3. It's not actually 2 and then 1. It sounds funny to do that, but basically you're knitting a seed stitch row and then you're working 3 rows or 3 rounds of knitting. So one way to tell if you've gotten the right repeat or if you're ready for a seed stitch row, you'll be over on the other side to start that seed stitch row. If you're on a flat panel, it'll be a little bit easier to tell. In the round, you might accidentally keep doing too many rounds of knitting rows. So just look back here, look at your knitting, and you can see the purl bump here. Let's come out here. Maybe a little bit harder to tell. Here, let's look at these rows of down here. If I pull this back, you can see there's a texture to it. And I can see these 3 little purl bumps on the back side, on the wrong side. In between is kind of like this little channel, and that is the knit stitch on this side of it. On the opposite side is where you can see some of those purl bumps protrude through. So you can actually see where 3 little bumps are. So up here at the very, very top, you can tell how many that you've done. It may be harder to see on here, but on your own knitting, you'll be able to tell. So you're going to go down and back, and then you'll be ready to begin that repeat again. So you're just going to continue to repeat until you get your desired length. And I hope you've enjoyed the Andalusian stitch. I think this would be fantastic in a sweater as well. Let us know what you want to make with it. We'll see you soon at GoodKnit Kisses, and join us next week for our little hat here. We have our bucket hat, and we're going to have a woven top that we showed you how to do last week on a round loom, and we're going to put it all together for an entire hat with the Andalusian stitch. Join me then. We'll see you soon. Thanks for joining us today, where we help you stitch your love and love your stitches. See you again soon.